How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week, at least once a week, during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie. And this week, we're going to be taking a look at Planet of the Sharks. This is from 2016 and is put out by the Asylum, which the top of this box is quick to remind us was the studio that gave us Sharknado. This is directed by Mark Atkins and stars Stephanie Beran, Auret, and Lindsay Sullivan. Now, the thing that I have to get out of the way first with this is, even though this is called Planet of the Sharks, this is sadly not really a Planet of the Apes mockbuster. Like, I was a little bit excited. You know, we had a new Planet of the Apes movie coming out. I found Planet of the Sharks. I was hoping for, like, a fun shark parody. But there's only, like, loose connections that all feel like a bit of a stretch. The sharks don't talk. There's no conspiracy cover-up angle to this movie, and we don't even get quotes. You know, how hard would it be to say, "Get your fins off her, you damn dirty shark"? That wouldn't be that hard, but we don't get really any of that, and I think this was probably a case of they just decided what to call the movie after they were done with it, and it's an in-title-only mockbuster. Honestly, it feels more like Waterworld but with sharks, but that's not the name of the movie, you know? But anyway, all that aside, it's, a really standard Asylum B-side, a little bit soulless, a little bit made on autopilot, and nothing really super special going on here. You do get enough random shark action to pump just enough life into this movie to make it entertaining enough. You know, this is one that you can sit on the couch, space out a little bit, enjoy yourself enough, but forget most of the movie after a couple weeks, you know? It's just not super special. I didn't really care for any of the characters here. They're all pretty wooden, and to be honest, a few of them serve no real point in the movie. And the only one is like the leader of this kind of gruffer village. She does a pretty good job at trying to be a little bit crazy. It's nothing super spectacular, but she's like the only one with the personality here. And then most of the movie is boring nonsense science, you know? It does eventually lead to some fun moments, like one of their goals in this movie is to shoot a laser at a dormant volcano to make it explode. Like, that's goofy, and when we get to the point where they actually start to try to do that, that's fun, but we have to sit through so much talking about not just science, but made-up pseudoscience, because we obviously don't shoot lasers at volcanoes in real life. So it's so much technobabble, so much just jargon, and we get to spend so much time with these characters just talking. And usually it's just on this little boat or in this lab building. You know, with this movie, you think, okay, at least it has a little bit of ambition, doing the whole planet being covered with water. And the raft cities are kind of interesting. I just wish we kept the whole movie there, because there's the raft cities, but there's also the research station, which is clearly just some random building they found, and then a bunch of them on the yacht, and those don't feel as special as rough and tumble raft cities, you know? And it's a lot of just the characters there, just talking about science and stuff. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of the Asylum B-sides like this are just way too long. I feel this would be fun enough if you cut it down into about a half hour and just served up these as like a little anthology TV series. As it stands, though, it's not the worst thing ever. It is definitely a B-side, and I'd only recommend it if you want some just mindless junk food movie that you don't have to pay too much attention to. And I guess those have their place, but yeah, sadly, not anywhere near what I was hoping for with this. Anyway, let's take a little bit of a look at the plot in order to analyze this. I'm not going to do any major spoilers, but I do want to take a moment to dig in a little deeper and talk about what works and doesn't. Anyway, we open up in a not too distant future where the world is flooded and people have to live on boats or rafts. And we get to see Junk City, this raft structure with some buildings and some, bridges between it. It's interesting enough looking, it's a fun enough set. And we get to see the sharks start to attack it, which I guess is something that doesn't happen too often because they have absolutely no defenses against it. And while seeing random people get attacked by CGI sharks is fun enough, it is a case where the sharks can jump out of the water and burst their way through literally anything, so there's no real choreography, there's no real skill, there's no real sense of meaning, it's just random shark nonsense. Again, fun enough, but the sole survivor just survives because her mother sticks her in a barrel. And yeah, we get Barrel Kid. And Barrel Kid, they'll eventually find her. A group of scientists will notice the distress flare, and they'll save her and see the sharks. And they see the sharks too, so that Barrel Kid doesn't even need to explain that to them. And then Barrel Kid will just be standing in the background, and she'll only really be there to get reaction shots. She doesn't really serve much of a purpose in this movie, and I get you want to do the sole survivor trope, but how about this? You have your main scientist, and then you also have this second female lead, this other scientist. What if you just wrote it where she was at Junk City and they saved her? Would have saved you a character and would have given her a little bit more depth, But yeah, no, we basically just get a kid who's gonna stand there. Later on in the movie, we'll get a radio guy who also doesn't have anything to do. So I really don't know why we needed all these different characters. But again, whatever. They'll start to talk about and analyze the sharks. Again, the sharks are cool, but all the science about the sharks and their electromagnetic communication and how this one is special, it's like the queen shark. I like the idea of having a shark leader, but she just has little blue glowy spots on her head, and that's about it. But we get that, and we also get more science talk where they're talking about why the planet's full of water. Obviously, it's the global warming, as every disaster movie since Birdemic. But they're building a rocket, and they're going to send the rocket up into space with CO2 sweepers, and it's just going to fix the problem. Is global warming that easy to fix that a few scientists on a raft can make a rocket and just stop global warming? Well, I'm glad it's that easy. That's super great. Okay, cool. But that's going to be their goal. Figure out the sharks, stop global warming to return the planet to how it was. And of course, to get more parts, we get to go see this other raft city. And the other raft city is pretty cool. They spend a little bit of time on there. It's a little more rugged, a little more Mad Max. And to see them fight the sharks is cool. And there are some cool scenes in this movie, but again, they don't stay long enough. We're not on the other raft city near long enough, and it's a good setting. The whole thing should have been there. Honestly, when you look at this movie and you go, wow, it's a little bit more ambitious, the whole planet's covered with water, they were doing water shoots anyway in these past shark movies. It's not so much that they did something crazy, it's just they reduced the land part just to the laboratory set, and the raft stuff, that's cool, but it's not in there enough, and you basically boil down to people talking on this yacht. Yeah, it's got its moments, but not enough of them. I do wish this was better. It's random technobabble from cardboard characters that will eventually lead to a few fun moments, and the ending finale of this movie has some cool parts. It's an okay finale. Overall, it is one that I wish we had just a shorter edit of just to watch the good parts. It's it's got a lot of filler in between it, and I do wish it was better. But apparently it did well enough to get Empire of the Sharks. I guess I'll see that soon. Maybe the sequel will have more budget behind it. I don't know. Anyway, though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Sharks playlist, which is getting pretty long recently. I've been doing Sharks this summer for a while, so there is quite a few episodes there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.